An up-and-coming business that specializes in electronics is calling Champaign their home. What you should know about this really cool company. Joining me now for Business Insider is Brett Walker of Electroninks. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, tell us, what is Electroninks?
Electroninks is, in short, inks for printed electronics. So printed electronics is a growing field where you use conductive inks and normal printing processes like inkjet printing or roll-to-roll printing like you see in newspapers, etc. But instead of using graphic inks, you use functional materials like conductors such as silver, copper, and other materials, so you can actually lay down circuits with this equipment instead of just using it for the normal graphic applications.
That's incredible. Do you have to have like some kind of special printer to make that work?
No, you actually can adapt this to work with a lot of normal industrial scale printers. Really the key is it's all in the ink. So you really have to design the inks properly to where they'll perform and create these functional devices after doing just post-processing steps, basically.
Incredible. How did you start this company?
I started this company with my advisor, Jennifer Lewis, who was a professor here previously, and it was part of my graduate research here at the University of Illinois. And based off of the work that we did, there was a lot of industrial interest, so it just made a lot of sense that maybe it's time to start a company doing this.
You know, it's such a great idea. No one was doing anything like that.
There are quite a few companies in the printed electronics space, but there's a lot of room for improvement as far as actual device performance, as more and more devices you see come out that they want to make flexible, and other sort of regimes that you need to really use a printing process versus conventional electronics that we're used to. And so yeah, there's a lot of room in the market, and it's a really growing market as well.
Wow, that's fantastic. So exciting. Well, I remember seeing a pen that had one of your inks in it, and there was a statement about you could literally you could draw out a circuit that would work. Is that correct?
Yes, it dries. We basically reformulated a gel pen ink. So what you use for arts and crafts and hobbies, these glitter pens, you can reformulate that ink with silver particles so it dries immediately at room temperature, and you can create working prototypes for circuits for both STEM education and just general prototyping purposes.
That is just so mind-blowing and so exciting and so wonderful. I know you're getting ready to kind of kick things off, and you're looking at Kickstarter. Can you talk about how that works and what you're doing with that Kickstarter campaign?
Yeah, so we had a Kickstarter campaign in November and December of last year, and what Kickstarter is it's an online crowdfunding platform. So basically a lot of small businesses use this as a way to introduce consumer products, especially in the tech space, which we're in the tech sector of the Kickstarter website. And so you have a video and you have a page that shows all your products, and then use that as a way to basically get initial early bird backers to really help you off the ground, to sort of show their support. So it's a win-win, because people who are really passionate about the product are early backers, and they typically get a significant discount than what you'd see from retail when it's released later. And for the small company, if there's a lot of upfront costs associated with doing the production run, it helps alleviate some of those costs. So both parties win out of the deal.
Well, that's great, and it also demonstrates a population that's interested in the product.
Oh yeah, and that's another great thing for the company, is it shows that it's real market validation, showing that real customers are interested in your actual product. So it's a great way to show that you have some real validation behind what you're doing.
Well, how can people check out what you're doing? How can they learn more?
Our website is electroninks.com, and then we still have pre-orders open for the Circuit Scribe, the rollerball conductive ink that you're talking about, as well as our components. We plan on delivering those in June and July, and then going into full retail later on in the year. And also electroninks.com, you can contact us using that website to talk about our industrial printed inks as well, if the interest is on the larger scale sort of production size.
Neat, how exciting. We have just about a minute left. What do you see in the future, the near future and the far future?
The near future is we're ramping up production right now to fulfill our initial backers on the Kickstarter and the pre-orders. So we're ramping up our production run right now. So we're getting into full production, lots of components, literally millions of components. So quite a bit of these small little components that we're working on. And then we're also doing a lot of larger industrial contracts for printed electronics that are really ramping up. So I see electronics growing quite a bit in the very near future.
Wow, fantastic. We're so excited for you, for your company, and for our community. We're glad you're here, and thanks for being on the show and Business
Thanks
Insider
for having me
today.
on.
You bet. Brett Walker with Electroninks.